Good evening, YouTube. Welcome in. Duty Ron here, back again with another video. Talking tonight about billionaire, hedge fund manager, mogul, Jeffrey Epstein. Pedophile, a total criminal. Hello, Starlight, true crime. A total sexual predator. Arrested Saturday here in New York City and is at the Manhattan Federal Correction Facility. So I want to talk to you guys about that. Good evening, Starlight. Hello, Bridget Parker. I hope the audio is good. I hope the video is good. Stephanie Hall, good to see you. Hello, Farm All Fanatic. Good to see you. Thanks for joining, Farm All. Hello, Just Believe. Kelly Doherty, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Guys, this is a case that I don't think anybody doesn't know about this. I don't think there's nobody out there that can, in the United States, that could say I haven't heard of this. This has been all over the news. He's a billionaire. He's a real piece of work, and I think his net worth is somewhere around 26 billion, not million, $billion. This guy is a real piece of work, no matter how you slice it. Whether he's a millionaire, billionaire, a wealthy guy, he got a slap on the wrist in early 2000, and this is a case that is going to be this is a case that's going to be all over the news for the next couple of months, and a lot of people are going to be dragged through the mud. A lot of people are definitely going to be dragged through the mud. Hello, Vegas, Ghost Girls, Paranormal, good to see you. He claimed to be the co-founder of the Clinton Foundation. Yeah, there's a lot of people. He was very good friends with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, now President Donald Trump, and a lot of the bigwigs. I think one of the princes, Prince Andrew, I believe it was, he hobnobbed with a lot of wealthy people. I think the Clintons, Bill Clinton, had taken many flights on his personal charter jet. So this is a real situation of a piece of crap, a real piece of crap, that because of his political connections, because of the money that he had, basically skated with a slap on the wrist. Hello, Yvette from San Diego. Good to see you. Hi, Winky Whispers. Thanks for joining. 28 times. There you go, Kelly. I didn't do a ton of research. All I know is that this guy is a registered sex offender, and he escaped in the early 2000s. I think he was sentenced in 2008, around 2007, 2008. He should have looked at about 60 years of federal time. He was charged under the Miami, I think it was Palm County District Attorney, charged him with 2 charges of soliciting for prostitution. This animal, for those of you who don't know, hello, Snowy Rains. Good to see you, Snowy Rains. Thank you for joining. For those of you who don't know, this animal was going after 14, 15, 16-year-old kids and luring them in because he had a modeling business that he used allegedly as a ruse to get these girls into his lair and have them give him massages and sexual favors for money. And he preyed on people who were from a lower income class. And what a real piece of crap. I mean, this is a person who we all should despise. This guy got away with a slap on the wrist. He was sentenced to, I think, 18 months or 13 months in prison. During that sentence, he was allowed to leave the prison 6 days a week for 12 hours. He was picked up by a private car. That was not a prison sentence, and he was a registered sex offender. So for 6 days a week, he was able to leave jail for 12 hours, go to his office and do business, and was picked up by a private car and then brought back to jail. That is not a jail sentence in my eyes. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that's not a jail sentence. This guy is a real piece of work, and I'm so happy that my New York City Police Department, the NYPD, and the federal authorities have arrested him Saturday, I believe, in the afternoon. He was picked up at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. Teterboro is a private airport where a lot of the wealthy people fly in to come in with on their private jets. He was met on the tarmac when he landed his private jet by federal agents and the NYPD, and he was taken into federal custody. This is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing. When he was first tried, let me go back real quick. When he was first brought up on charges in early 2000, I think it was the now Labor Secretary for Donald Trump, Acosta. He was the Southern District federal prosecutor who was charged with prosecuting these crimes that he perpetrated. He was given a slap on the wrist by this guy Acosta, who is now the Labor Secretary for Donald Trump. We're going to see some movement on that as well. I believe that Acosta will be taken out of his current position because this is going to come back into and be mushed into his face. Golf 269, son, bingo. Summer Rains, great to see you. Thank you for joining. John Robles, good to see you. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for being in here. Winky Whispers and Black Rose. Okay, so he was given. He gave up the right to charge this guy federally, which he should have been charged federally. He was luring in minors and having sex, oral and straight sex with young girls, 14, 15, 16 years old. And that is in itself disgusting. It's just, this guy is a vile human being. I don't care what his economic and social status is. I don't care what his political connections are. He got off with a slap on the wrist, and a lot of people should be held accountable for this. And I'm the first to say this. I'm totally disgusted by this. It was disturbing at the time, and it is disturbing now. But I think with my NYPD, my detectives from the NYPD working together with the feds, they were both involved in this new arrest. And what's good about this new arrest is he's in federal lockup, and the indictments will be unsealed tomorrow. That's Monday morning, tomorrow, in the U.S. in Manhattan Federal Court. So thank you, Caitlin. There was new search warrants executed simultaneously. When his plane landed in Teterboro and he was taken into custody, there was a team of federal agents and NYPD detectives who went into his home and did a no-knock search warrant. They broke his door in. They seized all of his computers and all his electronic devices. That tells me, as a seasoned detective, that they have new charges, not just unsealing the old charges. This is telling me that he has continued, because once a dog, always a dog. He was continuing his criminal activity with minors, and he is now going to be brought up on new charges that are going to be unsealed in Manhattan Federal Court tomorrow. So that, to me, is, as a law enforcement professional, that tells me, because they did those simultaneous arrest in Teterboro, search warrant at his business and arrest, search warrants at his business and his private residence, that those two combined tells me that this guy is not going to ever see the light of day. Feds are going to go full force after him. They're going to get it right the second time. He is going to be charged with child sex trafficking, obstruction of justice. Those are the two charges that we know of, and anything additional will be unsealed tomorrow. I will be here to talk to you guys about it tomorrow night. This is going to be a short video. I'm going to play 2 clips for you. Hello, Colorado Crime Con. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming on in. Let me share this broadcast real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Guys, talk amongst yourselves. It is disgusting, Pam Z. I just created a post. I hope karma gets him in jail. I hope he goes to jail for a very, very long time. Terry, the feelings are mutual. Other people are involved. They should be named. They will be named, John. It will be coming out. There's a lot of people that are not sleeping good right now. There's a lot of well-to-do people who have been friends with him and then just had looked the other way. And, you know, I don't know of how many people could be implicated in this, but heads are definitely going to turn. Heads are going to spin on this one. It didn't happen the first time around, but this is so out there right now. This is definitely long overdue. Definitely long overdue. So let me continue this. I'm going to play 2 videos for you guys. If you don't mind, just watch these videos. This will give you a quick education on the situation right here. I'm just sharing it on Twitter. And if you guys could, please invite onto your social media. Please share out this broadcast on your public platforms. Let's get the message out about this dirtbag. This guy is a low-life scum of the earth. And I hope he rots in jail for the rest of his natural-born life. This is somebody who is a sexual predator, and coming from a law enforcement background, these are the type of people that we go out and hunt down with vigor. We want people like this off the street, no matter if they're wealthy, if they're not wealthy, or what their social and economic status is. We as law enforcement want these pieces of crap off the street. I want people to know that we are out there fighting to get these people brought to justice. Now, what happened in the first go-around, it sounds and it smells really fishy to me. What went down was definitely criminal. That this guy was given a slap on the wrist and given a 13 or 18-month sentence in for state charges down in Palm Beach County, or Palm County, was a travesty of justice. And to top it all off, when they gave this guy that plea deal, all of the victims that were involved, the victims are supposed to be notified by the feds, because he was supposed to be charged federally. He wasn't charged federally, and that's not the only thing. To add insult to injury, they did not even make the notification to the victims, and that is shocking in itself. And that was in 2008. Then George Bush Jr. was in office. He was the president of the United States at that time. A total disgrace that his office didn't step in and do something about this. But it seemed like everybody just turned their heads and turned a blind eye to it. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because I feel that federal, local, and state, all across the board, everybody dropped the ball on this. And that to me is, that should not happen. That should not happen here. So really a disgusting situation. So let me play this clip for you guys real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Let me set it up. And this will give you guys a little bit of what's going on in this case. For those of you that are outside the country that may or may not know about what's going on with this case. So let me just cue it up, and then I'll get it all set up for you guys. Okay.
Billionaire businessman Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in New York.
Stand by, guys. Let me just get my headphones. Give me 2 seconds. I want to make sure it's good for you guys. Okay, we're going to cue it up for you. Don't worry, I'm going to go back.
Accused of sexually abusing underman Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in New York Saturday on federal charges related to sex trafficking. The 66-year-old hedge fund manager has long been accused of sexually abusing underage girls. In 2007, he pleaded guilty to 2 prostitution counts in Florida as part of a controversial deal to avoid federal charges. He was sentenced to 13 months in jail. Former Miami U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta handled that deal. Acosta is now Secretary of the U.S. Labor Department. In February, the White House said it was looking into the handling of that case, and a federal judge is weighing whether to invalidate the agreement. Epstein once counted President Trump and former President Clinton among his friends. He has a bond hearing scheduled for Monday in New York. For more on this, Jim DeFede with our CBS News Miami station, WFOR, joins me now on the phone. Jim, what more do we know about these new charges?
Well, what we basically know is that it's a two-count sealed indictment. One count is for sex trafficking. The second count is for conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. As I said, it's under seal. We're expected to learn a lot more come Monday when the indictment is unsealed.
Can you explain a little bit more about the controversy that surrounded his 2008 conviction and why that's now under review again?
Sure. So back in the early 2000s, Epstein was under investigation for sex trafficking. There was a major investigation being done by both state and federal authorities into him. It culminated in a plea agreement with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Florida, in which they agreed not to pursue the case any further if in turn he pled guilty to a prostitution-related charge in state court in Palm Beach County, knowing that he was also going to receive a very light sentence. He ended up only receiving about a 13-month sentence for the prostitution-related case, even though when taken in totality, all the sex trafficking allegations that were being made against him could have put him away for 40 years or more. What made that particularly egregious at the time was that when the time that the U.S. Attorney's Office made this deal with Epstein, they never notified any of the victims. So none of his victims who had been cooperating with federal authorities knew that the federal agents had agreed not to pursue any more charges
against Epstein. I was just talking about that.
And they were under the assumption that at some point the U.S. Justice Department would charge him, and they kept waiting and waiting for nothing to happen. Now, when Epstein went into the Palm Beach County jail system for serving that 13-month sentence, even that was unusual and highly irregular. He was basically treated as a celebrity. He was allowed to come and go 6 days a week from the jail as he wanted. Every morning, a chauffeur would come, pick him up, and drive him to his office, where he would spend the day doing whatever he wanted to do and then check back in at night.
Listen to
so the
this
entire
clip.
circumstance was really bizarre.
Yeah, and you mentioned Monday, so let's spin things forward here. His first court date is set for Monday. What's going to happen there?
So on Monday, what we're going to know is we're going to see what the actual charges are.
Okay.
It's expected that these could be placeholder charges and that additional charges could potentially be filed. But we're going to know for sure what the charges are, and what's important, what I'm going to be looking for, is when the incidents took place. Do these incidents that they're charging him now in New York stem back to those early 2002-2005 period that the federal government initially was investigating but had put their case aside? Or is it newer witnesses, newer victims who have come forward because of all the publicity this case has seen? The second thing we're going to learn on Monday is what kind of a bail or bond he's going to receive. There is a great deal of concern given his wealth. He is a very, very wealthy man. I don't think he's actually a billionaire, to be honest with you, but he's up there. That if he is permitted to leave court, he would disappear and not show up for trial. So those are two of the concerns that will be playing on. And I think you can expect prosecutors to ask for either a very, very high bond or no bond at all.
All right, Jim DeFede, thank you for providing some insight for us.
No problem.
All right, listen to this next one.
More than a decade after he was first accused of sexually abusing dozens of girls, a politically connected multi-millionaire has told a judge that he conspired to silence them. Jeffrey Epstein is accused of luring the underage teens to his Florida mansion and then sexually assaulting them. All of it beginning in 2001. And in a surprise move yesterday, Epstein settled an ongoing civil lawsuit that would have exposed details of the sexual abuse allegations against him. Drika Duncan is at the courthouse in West Palm Beach, Florida. Drika, good morning.
Good morning. It is here where Epstein's lawyer dropped that civil suit and basically in the process admitted that Epstein was trying to do everything that he could to stop those alleged victims from speaking. Jeffrey Epstein did not apologize directly to his accusers Tuesday, but through his lawyer said his attempts to silence them and their attorney were wrong.
I sincerely apologize for the false and hurtful allegations I made.
Epstein had also been trying to derail a lawsuit filed by his accusers in 2008, which says investigators identified more than 30 girls who were told they were being hired to give Epstein massages, but were sexually assaulted instead. Epstein often preyed on teenagers from broken homes. That's according to accusers who spoke with the Miami Herald.
Then he tried to put his finger in my underwear, and I jumped back, and I pulled back, and I was like, whoa.
But Epstein was never charged in most of those cases. In 2007, he struck a secret deal with federal prosecutors who let him plead guilty to 2 lesser sex charges in state court. He served just 13 months in a county jail. The deal was approved by then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, now the Secretary of Labor in the Trump administration.
I don't think there's a person in America who would ever look at the facts of this case and
predator,
believe that there was even an actual punishment.
Attorney Brad Edwards says his clients were kept in the dark over Epstein's arrangement. Why do you think it happened?
That's what we're still trying to uncover. One reason that we know are factors: money and power.
Whitewater Special Prosecutor Ken Starr and Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz were part of Epstein's star-studded defense team back then. At the time of his arrest, Epstein was a powerful money manager who handled billions for his clients. His circle of friends included Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, and former President Bill Clinton, who reportedly took at least 26 trips on Epstein's private jet between 2001 and 2003. In 2002, Donald Trump told New York Magazine Epstein, quote, likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. How many more victims do you think are out there?
Local victims have said that when they were 14, 15 years old, they brought 25, 30 girls to him. That's just one person. Nobody has really had the opportunity or ability to see how deep this goes in any other jurisdiction.
On Tuesday, some members of Congress asked the Department of Justice Inspector General to open an investigation. Now, federal prosecutors insist they did everything proper, but as you can imagine, those alleged victims disagree. Now, according to Edwards, it's unlikely, but he says technically Epstein could still face criminal charges. Gail?
So disturbing on so many levels. Thank you very much, Jerika.
Billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein may be headed back to court after a judge hinted that sealed documents from his 2008 case could be made public. Epstein was given a plea deal to avoid sex trafficking charges in 2008 after several underage girls claimed he sexually abused them. The Miami Herald says the documents would prove that he was involved in a sex trafficking ring.
In a separate case, a Florida judge ruled Epstein's plea deal violated the victims' rights by reaching the agreement without informing the women. The
Good night, Linda. Thank you so much for being here. Love and respect.
To reach a settlement with the victims. Joining us now to break this all down is CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, Ricky, this is a complicated case. Walk us through how we got here, starting with Judge Mara's decision on February 22nd.
Judge Mara is the judge in Florida. So what happened in this case, as you've talked about in your introduction, is that way back in 2008, there was a plea agreement. There were state charges pending. There were federal charges pending. And the federal charges, which comprised a multi-page indictment, over 30 pages, they suddenly all went away. And that Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to plead to 2 state charges where he gets a 13-month sentence in a jail where he has all kinds of freedom. He goes into house arrest. He's able to travel to New York. He's able to travel to his Caribbean island.
Because he was able to use his political connections to get him out of it. Why does
this become significant
sad but true
today? Well, there were multiple victims of sex trafficking, is the allegation, and all of that got swept under the rug by whom? The U.S. attorney at the time Mr. Acosta is now our Secretary of Labor.
Wow.
So when you look at a possible indictment that would have amassed more than 30 pages involving sex trafficking, and it just suddenly mysteriously disappears and everything gets sealed, and somebody gets a little sweetheart deal, and none of the victims are told about this, none of them, and then there is something called the Victims' Rights Act. So the victims had a right to know. Now, look, they can't dictate what the punishment is, but they certainly have a right to object.
Okay, guys, I got to stop this right here. I got to stop this, and then I'm going to continue. Okay, I just want to let you guys know that, okay, for the Southern District, that was Acosta at the time, for him to be able to wipe his hands clean with this and offer that plea deal, that comes from whoever was in charge at the time, which was George W. Bush, George Bush Jr. Okay, the President of the United States has authority over the federal prosecutor. That federal prosecutor doesn't just go and do that on his own. He's got to get approval from his bosses. It goes all the way from the top all the way down. Okay, they're going to try to lump President Trump into this, and I'm not defending Trump in any way, but I'm just simply stating the facts. Donald Trump had nothing to do with this deal being done in 2008. Okay, the then president was George Bush Jr. Okay, he was in charge of our country, not President Trump. Okay, so let me make this clear. The media, okay, this is CBS and CNN and all of these media outlets are going to try to twist it and say that Donald Trump gave the okay to this and was behind it. That is a bunch of nonsense. Okay, we're not stupid. Okay, this has nothing to do with President Trump. All that Trump has now on his hands is that he hired this guy to be the director of labor. He's the Secretary of Labor, and that's it. Okay. The bottom line here is this situation. What happened was President Clinton was not a president at the time. He was his friend. Okay. So at the end of it all, folks, that's why I stopped this. I just got to let you know that the only thing that Trump is got on him right now is that he hired Acosta to be the Secretary of Labor. And that's it. Okay? They were, Trump was a wealthy millionaire at the time, businessman, had nothing to do with the political arena in 2008. Okay? So at the end of it all, George Bush Jr. was the President of the United States at the time. Okay? This U.S. attorney in the Southern District, Acosta, did not say and put this deal out on his own. Okay? I'm going to continue this. This is just another couple of minutes, guys.
And a right to be heard, and none of this happened. So all of this comes up again. Judge Mara, now in Florida, says back on February 22nd, all right, I'm not going to vitiate the plea agreement. I'm not going to say the plea agreement is dead, at least not yet. But what I am going to do is give you till March 8th, tomorrow. You, the government, better come up with an agreement with these victims about what you're going to do about their pain and about the fact that they weren't consulted, or else I'm going to have to do something, which certainly does leave open the possibility that the plea agreement could be taken away.
I don't know if I can ask this question, but what is the unspoken narrative about this case? We talk about a billionaire financier that gets a sweetheart deal.
Well, there's lots of unspoken narratives here. I find this, and I think I can say this without fear of my own contradiction. I find this whole episode involving Jeffrey Epstein and the criminal justice system the most scandalous that I have seen in my years of either trying cases or covering cases. And the fact that it's not really out there all the time in the media is just as important to me as to why we should cover it today.
Why do you say it's the most scandalous?
Because here you have a guy who, he was a billionaire. He was involved with very important people, including President Trump and Bill Clinton, so we can't put it on one side or the other. And it is said that he would get these underage girls, not only for himself, thinking of R. Kelly, who has become the news of the day, but he would get them for other people. So he was an alleged procurer, and there are multiple victims in this case. In the old days of when this case first started to bubble up way back in 2008, the victims in this case were really treated like prostitutes instead of as underage victims. They were not believed. They were not really thought of as people who should be protected, which is, again, why people like Epstein and R. Kelly get away with this stuff. And why it becomes scandalous is, how does all of this stuff get sealed? How does none of this stuff become public? So that brings us to the other case, which is in New York. So yesterday there was a major argument before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals having to do with a related case that Jeffrey Epstein had a woman friend who was like his co-procurer. And there was a civil suit. And I don't want to get lost in the weeds of the civil suit. But the Miami Herald, who obviously is covering the case in Miami, they came up to New York, as well as a group of other news organizations, as well as lawyers, and who, including Alan Dershowitz. So we have big names here all over the place. Everybody wants this stuff public, except, of course, for
everyone involved?
Everyone involved.
Epstein and anyone else who hammered it out. Acosta, perhaps?
Well, the idea that you have documents all redacted. When you've got people, you have people on the far right and people on the far left who are saying, open it up, open it all up. The Washington Post did an editorial to say, let's see it all. Because it's one thing to redact the names of underage victims. It's another thing to protect people in power. And what was the former U.S. Attorney, Mr. Acosta, now Secretary of Labor, what was he thinking? Was there really nothing to the sex trafficking case? Or was there really something to the sex trafficking case? I know Justice Brandeis once said, sunlight is the best of disinfectants. But this case, as much as possible, with the exception of the names of the underage victims, it has got to become public, and we should all be outraged that the system allowed this to occur.
Bring in the sun. Ricky, thank you.
Sorry for my soliloquy. I couldn't help it. I'm really in a
important story.
You can take as much
this.
time as you want. Exactly. Thank you.
A new accuser is coming forward in the high-profile case against billionaire investor Jeffrey Epstein. Maria Farmer says the disgraced financier sexually assaulted her more than 20 years ago. Epstein has ties to politicians, celebrities, and, yes, royalty. He has faced numerous allegations of sexual abuse, which he denies. But he did serve 13 months in a Florida jail after pleading guilty to 2 lesser sex charges. Anna Werner shows us the latest chapter in this unfolding story. Anna, good morning.
Good morning, Nora. Maria Farmer's claims against...
Okay, guys. So, let's... this is just repetitive. I'm going to just give it to you, you know, like I said, I'm going to give it to you straight. These are the facts. The new case, the federal indictment tomorrow, that's going to be unsealed in Manhattan at the Manhattan Federal Court. That's going to be a blockbuster, okay? This guy is going to sing on everybody. The evidence that the FBI raided his home and probably his business offices, there's going to be lots of evidence there. There's going to be a lot of other people implicated. He's going to try to sing to save his life. It's not going to work, but he's going to give up. He's going to probably give up people. Will there be evidence, as Nabul stated? That was a great statement that you made, Nabul. He'll sing like a bird to give up as many people as possible. Will they have evidence to affect arrests on those people? I don't know. I don't know. That would be just a guess at this point. But I'm hoping that if he does give up other people, that there will be evidence there, enough evidence to effectively prosecute these high-profile, whether it's politicians or other wealthy people, whether it's the actual president of the United States or former presidents. I don't know, guys. This is all would be pure speculation. And for those of you who know me, know that I don't like to speculate on anything. So I am going to take some precautions here with what I'm saying, because I'm going to wait and see what happens or what comes out. So at the end of the day, Lisa, flight logs and all that stuff, that's not going to be enough to make somebody go to jail. What's going to make them go to jail is substantial evidence that they can use against them to prosecute. So if there's not enough evidence to prosecute somebody, like we think about Nicole Kessinger in the Chris Watts case, everybody is up in arms and going crazy about why she wasn't arrested, because the police and the federal authorities don't have enough to actually bring forward charges that would stick, charges that would get an indictment, charges that would get a conviction. You need to get the indictment, then you need to get the conviction. So if you don't have enough evidence, guys, then they cannot effectively prosecute somebody. And that's how our legal system works. That's how it works here in the United States. And I hope that they do get each and every one of these pedophiles, these sexual predators that are running around out there, because these guys are the lowest forms of life. Hello, Josh. How are you, Webby? Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know, girly game. That would just be all speculation. We don't know. Let's see what happens tomorrow when these indictments are unsealed and the charges are unsealed. Let's see what the new charges. There's going to be new charges. This I can tell you with extreme certainty. There is not just going to be an opening of those old charges. Tomorrow, there will be a host, if not a bunch of new charges that are going to be brought forward in Manhattan Federal Court tomorrow. And that's going to be the telltale sign of what his defense team is going to have to take on. And he's going to hire the best attorneys. The guy is worth a lot of money. He's going to hire the best lawyers. But even the best lawyers, if there is enough evidence, won't be able to help him, you know? So I'm hoping that tomorrow, probably, Luke, somewhere around midday, we should know something somewhere around 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. As soon as I hear something, I will put out a tweet. I will tweet it out on Twitter, and then tomorrow night, I will go live tomorrow night. So guys, if you're not following me, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. Tomorrow night, I will give you updates as best as I can from a retired law enforcement detective. I served 20 plus years on the New York City Police Department. I will give you my thoughts and my opinions based on what I see tomorrow in Manhattan Federal Court. I will be talking with a few of my close contacts within the New York City Police Department, within the Major Case Crime Bureau, the Detective Bureau, the Major Case Squad. I'll be talking to my guys in the Sex Crime Squad tomorrow via email and text message, and I'll be getting some inside information. Not that I'll be able to release it to you guys, but I'll give you guys a little better feel of what's going on this case, because as you guys know, the NYPD Sex Crimes Unit, the Special Victim Squad, and the FBI worked together on making this arrest yesterday, on Saturday at Teterboro. So members of my department were there, and also members of the FBI were involved in the arrest. Hello, S.J. Thomas. Thank you, John, for the kind words. I appreciate that. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell down at the bottom. Go and check out my YouTube, my Twitter account, and my Instagram. I do put out information on my Twitter a little bit before I go live, and I do a lot of public posts on my community section, in my community section. Hi, Leedy from Canada. Good to see you. I hope for the same thing. Listen, as a retired law enforcement professional, I want to bring these evil people to justice, as do all the men and women of law enforcement from every branch, from the federal to the state to the local. All we want to do is bring these evil, terrible predators. These sexual predators are the worst of the worst. We want them in jail. We don't want them out to harm our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, your children, your grandchildren as well. We want to wipe these guys off the face of the earth. We want them behind bars where they belong, because as we all know, once a sexual predator, there's no rehabbing, there's no healing these sexual predators. This is a lifelong thing, and I don't care what anybody says. People can say, "Oh no, the therapy. Oh, they can, no, you don't want these people out there." So, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody positively interacting on my broadcast here tonight. Thank you for the keeping the chat respectable. I appreciate that. I don't get political in any of my broadcasts, so I won't engage you guys in political conversation because it goes in a bad direction. And I do that out of respect for all of you guys, because I don't want this to turn into a bashing show or any type of disrespect. Thank you, Linda. Much love and respect. Thank you, Winky, Black Rose, and all the people who moderate for me here on my channel. Anytime I go live, I know I can count on Winky Whispers, Nabul, Black Rose, and a whole host of other people. Any thoughts on Alex Acosta, who gave Epstein a slap on the wrist? I spoke about it early in the broadcast. If you watch the replay, you can catch it. Hello, Randy Horton. Thank you for joining. Great to see you from Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for being in here. Adacor, listen, I'm going to take 3 to 5 minutes of Q&A. So if you guys want to send some questions to me, send me some questions and I will answer them. Addie's mom, my pleasure. You know how I roll. Hello, Verbal Constipation. Great to see you. Dallas PD, tonight is the anniversary. Yes, we're going to remember. We have to remember our members of the service who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you, Summer Rains. Thank you so much, Pam Z. B. John, thank you. The castration imprisonment should be their therapy. I agree. After how long crime cannot be? There's no statute of limitations on this crime. There's no statute here, Nabul. Hello, Gavin. Good to see you, Gavin. Thank you so much. Patrick, thank you for joining. It's times like this I think I have to... Yes, exactly. Hi, Lisa. 1111. D90, good to see you. Dana Peterson. Let's see. I'm waiting for some questions. Okay, Joshua Webb says, has Epstein been convicted of this sort of behavior before? Yes, he has. He is a registered sex offender. If you watch the replay, you'll see it. Discovery phase is going to blow minds. Absolutely. And that's all going to happen very soon. It's going to all happen very soon. Frank, good to see you. Hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Major League All-Star game here this week. That's going to be exciting. Tay Bear, I thought you said you left, but I'm glad that you're still here. Duty Run, you take your break in the need be. You have done enough to make a point about law. There you go. Thank you, Tay Bear. Yeah, you got to go back and watch the beginning, Dana. I covered everything from A to Z. I'm not going to rehash it and keep going over it because I got to go to sleep. I got to get up early in the morning. So most likely it is true. Yes, Josh, you're going to see new charges tomorrow, unsealed. Indictments will be unsealed tomorrow in Manhattan Federal Court, somewhere around midday on the East Coast. If they want out after their sentence, yes, there you go. Let me go back. I just missed a question from Adacor. How does this continue to happen? I wish I had the answer to that. Unfortunately, it does. Will this fall under admiral laws? I'm not sure about that. Some of these charges happen in, I believe, in the Bahamas at their Caribbean estate that he had. So that's a whole nother aspect to it. Yeah, you could look at it that way, Luke. How can he be arrested for crimes that happened a decade again? These are new crimes, Randy. These aren't just crimes from a decade ago, and there's no statute of limitations when it comes to crimes against children. There's no statute, Randy, here in America for crimes against children. You could commit the crime 30 years in the past, and if there's evidence enough to arrest, you could be arrested 50 years in the past if it happened 50 years in the past and evidence came. There's no statute. When it comes to feds, you're welcome, Randy. My pleasure. I'm here to shed light on anything that people are not clear on. It was in the Virgin Islands. I knew it was in the Caribbean. There you go, Golf. Thank you for that. It does affect kids. You know, any type of sexual crime affects adults as well. You know, but this is against children. So, do you think the DOJ will be held more accountable for any deal making? Abso-freaking-lutely, girly gamer. Absolutely. And this is a good step in that direction. It's a good step in that direction because I don't think this will ever happen in our lifetime again. Okay? They really need to show people who traffic kids that they can't get away with it. Yvette, 1,000%. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you, Realtor. Thank you. Thank you. What about Aruba? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thank God these laws exist. I agree, April. I agree. Don't get me started. There you go, Terry. Cindy P says, hello, Ron, from Cindy in Wisconsin. Cindy, love and respect to you. I hope they freeze his assets. Yes, they probably will. This is a huge story. It's not big. It's huge. If no statute of limitation, then how come Corey fell? Listen, we could go on and on about this. Well, I'm talking about this case, not Corey Feldman. But I hear what you're saying. Make an example. This guy's a real scumbag. Okay, so I guess the questions are all done. We need to protect our children of the world. I agree. Peppermint Crisp, I agree 100%. Any chance they sex trafficked in Aruba? I don't know. I'm not sure, Lenny. I'm not sure. We spoke about that, Jay. We spoke about that. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, Caitlin. My pleasure. My pleasure. Correct, Adacor. Correct. The children are defenseless. So that's it, guys. Listen, I hope everyone had a really great. They will probably freeze his assets once he gets sentenced. Once he gets convicted and sentenced, they will seize his assets. To pay restitution to the victims. And listen, I want to put the victims in the forefront here. My heart breaks for these victims, these families who have been victimized by this brutal, sick, perverted, twisted psychopath. My heart breaks for these young children who are now probably adults. My heart breaks for their families and for the victims. We want to put them right in the forefront. And I'm just happy that justice, the long arm of the law, is now prevailing. So you're asking me that question, Jay, and my answer is just going to be pure speculation. I think that he will be removed. Acosta will be removed from his labor secretary job. So you're welcome, Lenny. My pleasure. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. So I want to just put the victims at the forefront and say my heart breaks for them. My heart breaks for them. And these people, these kids, these young kids who are probably now in their 20s have to deal with this for the rest of their lives. And for me, at the end of the day, those are the people who I think about. Whoever was involved in it, I'm sure that this will come to light. And, some people may skate on this and some people will be brought to justice. I'm happy that this guy who was like the ringleader involved in all of this is now in federal lockup. I've been to the Manhattan House of Detention, the Federal Detention Center. It is not a lovely place to be. He's now not comfortable and sitting behind the cells, the four walls, cinder block walls, and he is in a jail cell where he belongs. caged up like an animal that he is. Now, when I say an animal, I'm talking about some savage beast that preys on, young children. And this guy is the lowest form of life. You can't get any worse than that. My biggest bugaboos, guys, are crimes against children. The sexual nature, obviously, are the most heinous. Crimes against the elderly, and crimes against the special needs or mentally incapacitated people. Those, to me, are my huge bugaboos as a law enforcement professional. I couldn't stand those type of crimes that really got my blood boiling, and it should, right? So I went after any type of investigation where I dealt with this stuff with a lot of vigor. I was very aggressive when it came to locking people up who committed these types of crimes. So I got to tell you, guys and girls, we live to go out and seek and hunt these people down and bring them to justice. So yeah, no matter what the social status is of this perpetrator, he deserves to be in jail. And I feel strongly about our law enforcement community. Now, don't point. We have to get into the mode here. Thank you, April. Thank you, Randy. We have to get into the mode here where we shouldn't point fingers at our law enforcement, because the feds and the local authorities brought this guy in. It was the prosecutor. It was the federal prosecutor, Acosta, who dropped the ball on the direction of straight from the top right down. So our justice system let us down with this case, not our law enforcement. Okay, and I'm not just saying that because I am a former law enforcement guy. I know the system. We make the summary arrests. We bring them before the prosecutors, and once we bring them before the prosecutors, they're charged with bringing the person to justice and bringing them through the court system. They use our evidence that we make our summary arrest with, and our case file that we have. Our evidence is instrumental in bringing the charges forward, but they make the decision based on our evidence whether to try them or to give them a deal. In this case, I don't think any of that came into play. I think this was a huge travesty of justice and a huge, huge, scandalous plea deal that was given to this guy for no good reason. So, this whole situation is just beyond bizarre with the types of crimes that this guy was accused of and could have been proven guilty of. Why he's out is just beyond me, guys. So hello to Joey Brooklyn. Please, everyone, if you're not subscribed to my good friend Joey Brooklyn, he's right there in the chat. Please check his channel out. Also check out Naboul, who does a lot of great broadcasts from the south of France. Also subscribe to my channel, Duty Ron. Hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel, my Twitter. My dutyron.com website has all of my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and all the good stuff on my channel. So again, guys, it was my pleasure to bring you this broadcast. I am very, very upset about this. My blood is boiling. I am really looking forward to hearing and seeing the indictment unsealed tomorrow in Manhattan Federal Court. Randy, thank you so much for the super chat. Great to see Randy Horton. Subscribe to my friend Randy as well. He's out there in Saudi Arabia. He is from Tennessee, Hendersonville, Tennessee. He is living in Saudi Arabia. His YouTube channel is fantastic, and he's on Periscope as well. So he's right there. He just gave the super chat. Randy W. Horton, a great guy and a huge, huge supporter of all broadcasters, and he is doing a lot of great things for his audience as well. So Randy W. Horton, thank you so much for that super chat, and thank you for being, most importantly, a good friend to the Duty Ron family. I appreciate that. Jay, no reason to use all caps. I could see the messages. I see your messages coming through. Jay Ripper says, Alex Acosta is being investigated for breaking the law to give, I don't know what that word is. I'm not sure what that is, but there you go. No need to use the caps. You don't have to shout in here. I could see it whether you type it all in caps or not. I agree. Frank, I agree with you. I agree. So guys, anybody have any questions or thoughts really quick? I'll give you another round because a bunch of new people came in. Anybody else have any questions that are respectful? Put them on in the chat. You're welcome. Christine Miller, thank you so much for thanking me for the broadcast. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you so much for that. To give Epstein an 18-month sentence, he was supposed to do life. He gave him a 13-month sentence, Jay, not 18, 13 months. And that 13 months, he had 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to go out and do whatever he wants. That was not a sentence. That was a travesty of justice. I said it 100 times in this broadcast. There are two justice systems, one for the rich and one for the rest of us. I agree. It's not continuous like that, but I do agree with that statement. It's giving me hope that this is happening, looking things happening with Jussie Smollett. There you go. I agree. Thank you for that statement, Miss Mick Jagger. Thank you so much for that. So let's see. Tay Bear Hair, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Thank you, Lenny. Got to go shower and get off to work. Randy, have a great day. Go out there and make Monday your day. I know it's Monday in Saudi Arabia. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for the super chat. Everybody subscribe to Randy W. Horton right there. Check him out. Are you going to go to any of the court hearings? I don't think so. I got a lot of things going on. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Honestly, I won't. But I will be following it closely, and I'll give you the inside scoop as I see it. Do you think the victims have some retributions? I would hope so. Open your eyes. Joe Smo, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for that. Annette Fernandez, thank you so much for subscribing. Anybody here new into my channel? Anybody here that is new, that has never come into the channel? Please let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and your country, and I'll give you a quick shout out before I leave. Same, Ron, and women left out accidentally. Same, Ron, and women y'all left out accidentally. I'm not sure what that means, but I read it. So, yeah, there are probably a lot of people that aren't going to sleep good tonight. There's a lot of people that aren't going to be sleeping good tonight. Boss says Trump is untouchable. Opinions, everyone's got one. Can't wait to see your show tomorrow. Yes, I'll be on tomorrow night around 10 p.m. Eastern time, between 9 and 10 p.m. I will send a tweet on Twitter, and I'll let you guys know when I do a follow-up tomorrow. It'll be between 9 and 10 p.m. tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time. Dastas88, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ready to wrap. Please watch the replay. It's a chock full of information on Jeffrey Epstein. Lisa Farley is from Ohio. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for newly subscribing to the channel. Anyway, we'd be able to access the court transcripts. Yes, I will be able to get that indictment once it's released to the public. Don't forget, all of this is public record. It's all public record. Welcome in Raylene from Texas. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on in. Great state of Texas. Love the people from Texas. Everyone, this is about victims, and let the evidence come out exactly. Thank you, Phantom. Thank you. I never go with conspiracy theory. Hello, boss. Boss says hi to Rose. Okay. All right, guys. Good to see you, Liz. Liz Sipp is in the building. Thank you for joining. All right. Excellent. Addie's mom is a native Texan. Yep. Welcome in, cousins from Kentucky. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so let's wrap it up, guys. I really do appreciate everyone coming in here. Everybody have a great week. I will be live tomorrow night on an update on Jeffrey Epstein. So much love and respect from my house to yours. I know that everyone has a lot of options on YouTube. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching my YouTube live videos. I am a live streamer, so I don't do a lot of uploads. So I am always coming to you live. I don't give you anything edited. I don't piece in things. I give you a live interactive broadcast. So if you like that kind of stuff, please subscribe to my channel. That is what I have to offer to you, a live interactive broadcast. So if you're into that type of stuff, please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, all one word, DUTYRON. Subscribe to my good friend Joey Brooklyn. Subscribe to Life of MC over in the Philippines, Randy W. Horton, Naboul from the south of France, and all my great friends that are in here that do broadcasting. Thank you so much, Danielle News. I think I screwed that up. Danielle News. Danielle. No, that's it. Danielle News. Thank you so much for that. You're welcome. Open your eyes. Naboul, have a great night. Thank you so much. Love and respect from my house to yours. Thank you for the super chat from Randy Horton and anybody who has given. Maddie Sully, love and respect to you and your family. Girly Gamer, good night. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you for joining and have a good evening. We'll talk to you again soon.